Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, it brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you so much for joining me today on this lovely Monday morning. Thank you so much for being here with us. And of course, I say Monday morning out here in Oakland, California. Thank you so much for joining in. And I hope that it is good wherever you are, whatever time you're joining us at. Thank you so much for being here and making the time to be here with us on Story Time. Read a book together, learn together, and of course, be in community together. Thank you so much for joining in. And as always, please let us know where you're joining in from. And if anybody else is joining in with you, let us know who is joining in with you so we can say hi to them as well. Thank you so much for being here. I had a lovely weekend. I hope that you did too. Thank you to everybody indeed that checked in on one another. And of course, we hope that it is a reminder to today that remember to just say hello and just check in on those loved ones. Thank you so much for being here with us on Story Time. We have a very special book coming up today. And it's one full of just memories, melancholy, everything. Like it's just a really beautiful book coming from Matthew Burgess and illustrations by TURK. And this one is called The Red Tin Box. So join in for this one. Get ready, get comfortable, get cozy, and enjoy this beautiful book with us here on Story Time. The Red Tin Box, coming to us from Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Yes, indeed, Ariel and Melissa Manlove, Victoria Rock, and so many other amazing people out there at Chronicle. Well, sending you love. Thank you so much for being here with us on Story Time. This one coming right up, The Red Tin Box. I have to check myself and not say the red tin container. I keep thinking that, but it's the red tin box. Let's remember that. Thank you so much for joining in. Well, let me remember that. Thank you indeed for being here with us on Story Time. And I must also make mention, as we know, too, today is September 11th, 9/11, and we know 22 years ago today, on that fateful day, a lot happened, and people lost lives, loved ones were lost, and so much that has happened since. And of course, we can just hope for healing and continued healing and love and community building, and also finding that ability to rise from such difficulty. So indeed today, thinking about everyone that lost their lives on 9/11, and of course wishing their families the strength, the love, and of course thinking about them today. And I hope that we do take a minute at some point to just think about what happened, and of course to send out those loves, those prayers, everything to the families of those that indeed left us on that day. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. And on a bit of an uplift, of course, we know that the weekend was a big one for sports. If you're a rugby fan, you know that the Rugby World Cup is on. And of course, the big team's already up up and running, and you saw the South Africa game too yesterday. Very exciting. So if you're a rugby person, you know rugby is on. Do check that out. And of course, Coco Golf, congratulations to you on winning the US Open championship. Yes, it has. I feel like it's been a long time coming for Coco, and congratulations to her and her family, her trainers, her team, everybody, and of course the US as well too, winning it on home soil. Thank you so much for joining in. The youngest person to do it since Serena Williams did at 17. Coco Golf is 19. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time, and yeah, I just hope that as we go through this day today, we continue to find those bright spots, and of course continue to hold our dear loved ones, hug them close. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And this book today is all about love and those beautiful memories indeed. And this one is called The Red Tin Box. So get ready for this one. Get comfortable, get cozy. It's coming up very shortly. For now, let us see who is with us this morning, ready to enjoy a wonderful story. Thank you so much for being here with us indeed on Storytime. Good morning to you in foggy Kentucky. Thank you so much for joining in. Absolutely appreciate you, Megan. And of course, Ari, thank you so much for joining in. Oh my goodness, I meant to ask, but also hopefully one of these days we can show the video of the popping flower. What was it called? Please remind me the name. Something weed. But thank you so much for joining in, and thank you for that video. Really, really cool. So good to see. Thank you so much for sharing. Love it, Ari. Thank you. Love the reaction to that as well. Thank you so much for being here out there in Kentucky, where it is foggy today. Megan and of course Ari, thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. Good morning to you, Pamela, Courtney, Chad. Thank you so much for joining in out there in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Well, Auntie Anne, we send you love as well. Braylon and everybody else, thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Glad we're here together. I am excited for this beautiful, beautiful book to get started. Yes, the Joe Weed. There we go. And Ari sent me a really cool video of showing how the Joe Weed pops on the touch. It was crazy. I loved it. Thank you so much. Definitely made me smile on a long day yesterday. Was out and about, and that was exactly what was needed in that moment. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Here we go. Our story coming up very shortly, and this one is called The Red Tin Box. But before that too, just to remind you of what we have this week. Beautiful, beautiful books, amazing books coming our way, and we do have we're kicking off, of course, with the Red Tin Box, and then tomorrow we'll bring you The Fire of Stars, and it is a beautiful, beautiful story. This one, I love it so much, and it is coming to us as well from Chronicle Books of San Francisco. So get excited for that one, and it will be here on Storytime. I'm excited to share that one, and it is about the life of Cecilia Payne, astronomer and astrophysicist. So do join us for that one, The Fire of Stars. And then, of course, on Wednesday, we're back, and we'll bring Cinderella and a mouse called Fred. That one coming up on Wednesday, and we will have a special guest with us on Wednesday. Deborah Hopkinson will be here with us on Storytime. And then, of course, Dancing Hands, Filipino Sign Language will be here on Thursday. And then we wrap up the week with Tap, 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 Dance, 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 coming to us from Evert Toulé, as you know, in his classic style. So come on out, join us for all those amazing stories here on Storytime. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. And good morning to you. How are you doing today too? Coming in out there. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Nathan and Sarah out in gray and overcast Illinois. I hope that means that it is getting cooler and cooler out there in Illinois. I talked to a few friends out there just outside of Chicago, and they were saying it was scorching hot. So I hope that indeed it has cooled down after that. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Good to see you here. Nathan and Sarah, and of course, Amanda West. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. Please get ready, get comfortable, get cozy as we get started with our story for today. But before that, morning to you, or is it good afternoon to you up there in Lusaka, Zambia, where you say it is a hot afternoon? Well, October is not quite here yet, but it is approaching, and I know that it can get pretty hot out there in Lusaka. So I hope that indeed you find all the goodness, all the good things, some water indeed to cool you off, maybe some ice blocks, some ice cream, something to help you cool down. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. Penelope K, MK Evanson, and of course, everybody else that is joining in with you. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. Get ready, get cozy, get comfortable. Go, go, go. Get that iced water. I have my iced water here. It's been a little bit hot out here, even at this time of day. But yeah, so go, 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 grab it, and let's get started with our story for today. Thank you so much for being here with us, friends. Absolutely appreciate you. I'll see you on the other side of this short break.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Davis. I'm a children's book author, illustrator, and high school art educator. I am the author of 30,000 Stitches, the inspiring story of the National 9/11 flag, illustrated by Sally Warren Comport and published with Worthy Kids # book group. One thing that drew me to writing 30,000 Stitches was the idea that people from all different communities came out to stitch this flag and make it whole again. So I hope that when people read 30,000 Stitches, they remember the power of sharing our stories. When people came out to stitch the flag, they shared their stories, whether about loss or pain or love. We all have stories to tell, and by sharing our stories and listening to one another's stories, we can create a better understanding of each other and create a sense of connection and unity. And this is what creates a more inclusive world. I hope you enjoy your story time with Mr. Lamada. Bye, everybody.
Oh, thank you, Amanda Davis. Thank you so much. And if you've not checked out 30,000 Stitches, I encourage you to do so. We did read a snippet of it here on Storytime, so you can find it in the archives. Of course, we had a conversation with Amanda Davis as well, so you can find that in our archives. But of course, check it out at your local library too. I love that the focus of 30,000 Stitches is the love and healing, and that's what we should be thinking about today on this day, 9/11. Think about the love and healing that happens, and not unfortunate hatred that came out of that, targeted at particular minorities and so on. And so we just want to make sure that we exhibit love, we exercise that hope, and just continue to share love, right? Share love, and see how we can move together as a people, as one. So thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. It is indeed a wonderful book awaiting us, and this one is called The Red Tin Box. It is written by Matthew Burgess, illustrated by Evan Turk, and we're reading this one with permission of the publishers Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Here we go. And of course, too, this is one of those books again. Just look at that. Look at that. I'll take this the sleeve off just so you can appreciate the beauty. Look at that. Yeah, I just thought I should show you that as well. It is fantastic. Yeah, I love that. And I just thought you should see it. And of course, too, when you look at I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit shades of gray in there too. I love it. Yeah, for the end papers. All right, here we go. Oh, as Pamela Courtney taught me last time, the Andes, right, of the book. Here we go. Thank you, Pamela Courtney. Always learning from you. Thank you so much for joining in. Oh my goodness. Yes. Thank you for joining in. Kathy, Keith, happy Monday from Cooler, Ohio today. I'm glad it is cooler out there. Thank you for being here. The Red Tin Box. Are you ready? Here we go. The Red Tin Box by Matthew Burgess. Illustrations by Evan Turk. Read with permission of the publishers Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Yeah, really stunning illustrations in this book. On her 8th birthday, when the sun was peeking over the treetops and everyone in the house was still asleep, Maude slipped outside and across the wet grass to the edge of the woods. What is Maude up to? Why do you need to be out there so early? And it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday, Maude. On her 8th birthday, when the sun was peeking over the treetops and everyone in the house was still asleep, Maude slipped outside and across the wet grass to the edge of the woods. What are you up to? At the foot of the flowering dogwood, in a soft spot where she once found a fallen nest, the earth seemed to whisper. Here, here, it seemed to say. Yeah. At the foot of the flowering dogwood, in a soft spot where she once found a fallen nest, the earth seemed to whisper, here, here. Oh. Maude dug and dug and dug until the hole was deep enough to hold a red tin box. Only Maude knew the treasures she placed inside the box. Only Maude heard the words she said as she buried it. What is in there? I want to know. Yes, Pamela Courtney. Oh, what could be in there? Are you dying to know as I am? Maude dug and dug and dug until the hole was deep enough to hold a red tin box. Only Maude knew the treasures she placed inside the box. Only Maude heard the words she said as she buried it. Far overhead, the sun kissed the clouds pink. An angle of geese honked excitedly. Oh my goodness. I want to be there too. Yes, far overhead, the sun kissed the clouds pink. An angle of geese honked excitedly. Oh, excitement in the air. And Maude made a promise to herself. Oh, isn't that a beautiful spread? And Maude made a promise to herself. Maude grew and grew and grew, as old children do. Sometimes a little too fast, isn't it? Slow down, all you little ones. Maude grew and grew and grew, as old children do. Aw. Look at that. Aw. She had a daughter of her own, and she grew too. Aw. Maude grew and grew and grew, as old children do. She had a daughter of her own, and she grew too. But Maude never forgot the red tin box. In one corner of her mind, it glowed, though one by one, the treasures she had placed inside slipped from her memory. What did she put in it? What's in there? But Maude never forgot the red tin box, even as life passes by. In one corner of her mind, it glowed, though one by one, the treasures she had placed inside slipped from her memory. One November afternoon, Maude was seized with a feeling like a bright spring sunrise. Yeah. One November afternoon, Maude was seized with a feeling like a bright spring sunrise. The next day, Maude picked up her granddaughter after school. Yes, one November morning, Maude was seized by a feeling. The next day, Maude picked up her granddaughter after school. Together, they turned east. As they drove and drove and drove, 4 towns over. Whoa, that's quite the drive. Together, they turned east. As they drove and drove and drove, 4 towns over. Where are they going? They drove 4 towns over. Across the river she swam in as a girl, past the road to the old schoolhouse. Maude told Eve about the red tin box, about the hole she dug beneath the dogwood, about the promise she made when she was 8 years old. Wow. But what's inside the box? How do you know it's still there? These were questions Maude couldn't answer. They sat quietly side by side in worry and in wonder. It was possible they wouldn't find it. So many years had passed. Well, do you think they'll find it? I hope they do. But what's inside the box? How do you know it's still there? These were questions Maude couldn't answer. They sat quietly side by side in worry and in wonder. It was possible they wouldn't find it. So many years had passed. But there was the dogwood that Maude daydreamed under as a girl. Read books under, fell asleep in the grass under. But the question is the red tin box still there? Holding her granddaughter's hand, Maude walked to the perimeter of the tree until one spot seemed to whisper, "Here, here." Could this be it? Could this be the spot? They took turns nudging the shovels into the cold ground. Digging was hard, but with each small scoop, the dirt became a little bit softer. And suddenly, what was there? Yes, digging was hard, but with each small scoop, the dirt became a little bit softer until suddenly The ring of a metallic clank. Could it be? Was it still there? Until suddenly the ring of a metallic clank. Look at their faces. Priceless. Love it. Eve watched as her grandmother lifted the treasures out, examining them one by one. A tiny toy elephant, a marble like a tiger's eye, an ancient piece of candy wrapped in silver foil, a costume mustache, a small brown bottle, a bird's nest woven with purple string, and an iridescent ear-shaped shell. Oh my goodness. What would you put in your time capsule? Oh my goodness. I was dying to know what was inside. Eve watched as her grandmother lifted the treasures out, examining them one by one. A tiny toy elephant, a marble like a tiger's eye, an ancient piece of candy wrapped in a silver foil, a costume mustache, a small brown bottle, a bird's nest woven with purple string, and an iridescent ear-shaped shell. Yes, Kathy, I agree with you 100%. It's an awesome story, and the illustrations, oh my goodness, outstanding. You want to see the treasures? Look at that. Once Maude let out such a high-pitched that a dog in the distance began barking. Yeah. Relief it was still there, but also, can you imagine the memories going through her head right now? Yes, once Maude let out such a high-pitched that a dog in the distance began barking. Oh. Can you hear the swish of their shoes through the grass? Maude told many stories on the drive home. Sometimes Eve asked questions. Sometimes she laughed when her grandmother laughed. And it didn't bother her when her grandmother cried. Yeah. Maude told many stories on the drive home. Sometimes Eve asked questions. Sometimes she laughed when her grandmother laughed. And it didn't bother her when her grandmother cried. It didn't bother her, not one bit. When they arrived, Maude placed the red tin box into her granddaughter's hands. This is for you. Yeah. This is for you. Far overhead, the stars blinked. An angle of geese honked in the dusky dark, and Eve, seized with a feeling, made a promise to herself. This is for you. Far overhead, the stars blinked. An anger of geese honked in the dusky dark. And Eve, seized with a feeling, made a promise to herself. Oh. It's magic, isn't it? And that is the end of our story. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Right? I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that, it just brought up all those good memories for you, good feelings. Yes, I hope that you're seized by the good feelings for sure. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. This has been our book for today, The Red Tin Box. I love this one so much. I appreciate it. It's just the story, just, oh my goodness, so many memories that is bringing up for me. And I hope that it is for you as well. Or just, the beauty too, the illustrations, everything. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Please catch me on the other side of this short break when we're back for more Storytime.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Davis. I'm a children's book author, illustrator, and high school art educator. I am the author of 30,000 Stitches, the inspiring story of the National 9/11 flag, illustrated by Sally Warren Comport and published with Worthy Kids # book group. One thing that drew me to writing 30,000 Stitches was the idea that people from all different communities came out to stitch this flag and make it whole again. So I hope that when people read 30,000 Stitches, they remember the power of sharing our stories. When people came out to stitch the flag, they shared their stories, whether about loss or pain or love. We all have stories to tell, and by sharing our stories and listening to one another's stories, we can create a better understanding of each other and create a sense of connection and unity. And this is what creates a more inclusive world. I hope you enjoy your story time with Mr. Lamada. Bye, everybody.
Welcome back. Thank you indeed. So many amazing points in there, Amanda, that you raised. And of course, yes, let's tell our stories and let's share our stories. And how lucky are we? I know I've been one of those lucky people who was able to see, at least I got to see one grandparent really and spend so many years with them, and the amazing stories, the amazing time that we spent together, and just the memories that I have from that. I appreciate that so much. So if you have a grandparent, you have older members in your community, family, wherever you are, you're blessed, and please take advantage of that, and please do pass on the knowledge as well. Older ones, pass on the knowledge, share it with our beautiful young ones. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. I hope that this story inspires you today, maybe to create your own time capsule, maybe to just check in and tell a story from of sweet old memories or something. But I just hope that the feeling seizes you, as it says in the book. And I hope too, I think it says Eve was not bothered when her grandmother cried, not one single bit. Yes, some stories will make us cry, some will make us laugh, some will leave us in awe, and some, have questions, raise questions that cannot be answered. But that is all part of the deal. It is beautiful indeed. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime once more, showing the aunties, and then we can put this book right back into its sleeve. Thank you so much for joining in, and I hope that when you find it at your local library, well, you might not be able to take off the cover because it's usually taped down, but I hope that you get to enjoy the story and indeed find it where you find books. This one is called The Red Tin Box. It is written by Matthew Burgess, illustrations by Evan TURK, and another one coming to us from Chronicle Books of San Francisco. A big thank you to them indeed for allowing us to share so many beautiful stories here on Storytime. And we're not done. We're back tomorrow with another exciting book, another one from Chronicle. This one is called The Fire of Stars, and is the life and brilliance of the woman who discovered what stars are made of. join in for this one. It is written by Kirsten W. Larson and illustrations by Catherine Roy. And of course, as we mentioned, coming to you from Chronicle Books of San Francisco. So join us for this one tomorrow. More exciting stories. And like I said, we do have a guest that will be joining us on Wednesday. Deborah Hopkinson will be here with us. If you remember, we've read a book here called Follow the Moon Home. She co-wrote that one with Felipe Costu. Well, she'll be here with a brand new book. She has 5 new books, but we'll be reading with us her retelling of Cinderella. So join us on Wednesday. You do not want to miss the fun. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. Let us check one more time who was with us here enjoying that book. Thank you so much. Such a captivating story. Well, thank you, Penelope. I'm glad that resonates. I'm glad that you enjoyed that story. Thank you for being here with us on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Please find ways to keep cool out there in Lusaka. Thank you so much for joining in. Of course, Lusaka, my hometown, my beloved Lusaka. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope that you get to enjoy a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much for joining in here on Storytime. Yes, indeed, out there in a much cooler Ohio today. Thank you for joining in, Kathy, Keith, and of course you say, what an awesome story and illustrations, and couldn't agree with you more. And Pamela Courtney, I hope you love that book as well. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Thank you for being here with us, Nathan and Sarah, and of course Amanda West out there in gray and overcast Illinois today. Thank you for being here. Hopefully, too, like we said earlier, hopefully that brings all the coolness today, too. Thank you so much for joining in. And I mentioned, too, the jewelweed. I'm really fascinated. It's really cool. And thank you for sharing the video, Ari, to see that in action. If you don't know about it, please look it up. We had a photo of it the other day, and we'll try and bring it back soon, too. And hopefully, too, we can show you that beautiful video of just how the seed pods of flowers pop on the touch. Is beautiful. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you, Chad. And of course, Auntie Anne, sending you love as well. Pamela Courtney, thank you as always for being here with us on Storytime. Ari, and of course, Megan, thank you so much for joining us out there in Kentucky. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining in. And yes, like I mentioned before, if you're a sports lover, well, I hope you enjoyed the US Open Tennis Championship that was happening. And of course, congratulations to Coco Gauff. Yes, indeed, doing it in style on home soil. Thank you so much for joining in. And of course, the Rugby World Cup is on. And yes, our teams are firing on all cylinders. Check out. If you're a rugby fan, do check out. I know that I will be watching for sure. Thank you so much for joining in. And as we round up today, as Amanda said, I hope that today is a time of remembrance, a time of healing, a time of bringing together, a time of reflection, and see what we are doing to be better as a human race. Thank you so much for being here. 9/11 happened 22 years ago, and we wish all the families and those that lost their lives, we wish them peace and we wish them healing, and we continue to keep them in our thoughts. So today, please do spare thought, do spare prayer for all affected indeed. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. And if you're looking for a book for 9/11 that just touches the heart and really approaches it from a healing and love perspective, 30,000 Stitches is the book for you. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. Please join me again tomorrow when we are back. The Fire of Stars. Just the name makes you want to read that book, doesn't it? Much love from me. Oh my goodness. Love to each and every one of you. You matter. You're beautiful. Let nobody tell you otherwise. You are wonderful. And I'm so glad that you're part of this community. You bring value to it. You bring your uniqueness to it, and we appreciate it. It makes us all better. Much love from me. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
It will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada. Will all your dreams come true? Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing stories, some stories from far away, others right here in my neighborhood. Story time. Ooh. Story time. Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh. Story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing